What's up, YouTube Automators? So in this video, we're going to be talking about the psychology behind the main viral metric, which is click-through rate, CTR. So we're going to be talking about the psychology behind CTR. Now in this entire section underneath understanding virality, because we're breaking it down into like multiple sections underneath the overall section, is all about CTR. It's all about increasing your click-through rate. Before we even dive into that, I first want you guys to understand the psychology behind click-through rate, like the psychology behind why people click on videos, because before we even share how to get people to click on videos, you need to understand the overall concept. That way everything else makes sense. Now here's what you need to understand about click-through rate. There's only one letter in that matters. And a lot of people get this confused. There's only one thing that matters, man. And CTR, it's the C. It's click. It's getting people to click. Forget the click-through rate. Forget that. The only goal is how do I get people to click on my videos? Well, let's think about that for a second. What causes people to click on a video? Like, the thing about scrolling through YouTube, it's not the content, because before, like, you don't watch content until you click. So, like, it can't be, like, the content's really, really good, so it makes people click. Like, that doesn't work. Really, there's only two things that matter. It's the title and the thumbnail. Like, when you're scrolling through YouTube, what makes you click? It's number one, either the title of the video, like what it's called, or number two, it's the thumbnail, which is the picture underneath the title. It's one of those two things that go into you clicking on a video. And what a lot of people think is they think that they need to only focus on creating great content, which that is true to an extent. Like, creating great content is vital, because if you get millions of people to click on videos but they don't like them, you're not going to win very long. It's not long lasting. But at the exact same time, if you create the best content on YouTube, unbelievable content, but you don't have great title and you don't have a great thumbnail, then no one's going to want to click. And guess how many people are going to watch your video? That's a masterpiece, an unbelievable piece of art. Like, imagine Picasso paints a piece of art, but people don't see it. Like, imagine he never shows it to anyone. He just hides it. But then it doesn't matter how great that piece of art is. If no one sees it, it doesn't matter. See, it's the exact same thing. Although average view duration is key, and making sure your content's so good that people want to watch the entire video is key, it doesn't matter if people don't watch the entire video if no one's watching your video. Like, in the day, if you have a 10-minute video and the video is so good it causes 10 minutes out of, or it causes everyone to watch the entire 10 minutes, but you only have 20 people watch it, then it's not a good video. So because of that, I truly believe the most important and main viral metric is click-through rate. And that once again comes back to that C. It's the click. It's getting people to click on your video. And the only way you get people to click on your video is through a great title and a great thumbnail. Now, we're going to be talking about this section is how to create a really, really great title and thumbnail that causes people to have to click on your video. Like, you guys ever been like scrolling past something and literally it was just so good you had to click on it? Well, that's what we're gonna be talking about in this, is how to create masterful and viral ready titles and thumbnails that are ready to go viral. That's the real important part to getting people to click on your video. Now, there's two psychological reasons why people click. Two reasons and two reasons only why people will click on videos. The first one is curiosity. Now, the real key to curiosity, and this is the number one reason why people click, is curiosity. And the real key to curiosity is making a title and thumbnail so good that people don't want to click on it, but they have to click on it. That is the real key. You see, a lot of people, they sit back and they say, how can I make a good thumbnail? That's not the goal. It's how can you make a thumbnail so good that it is impossible not to click on. If you make a title and thumbnail that is impossible not to click on, you're pretty much guaranteed to go viral. That's how it works. I mean, literally, while me and Ryan were just eating a quick lunch, I was like literally scarfing down food before I filmed this next video. We were kind of scrolling through YouTube, just seeing if there's anything else we need to add into the YTA Masterclass. So we want to make this perfect for you guys. There was a video we saw that the title and thumbnail was so good, we just had to click on it. And we clicked on it. Now, it wasn't that we wanted to. There was a lot of videos I wanted to see. Like, if I had free time, I would have watched it. But that one video, I had to see. It needs to be the exact same way. You need to make your titles and thumbnails so good that it just leaves people curious. It's like, I have to know what this video is. I have to watch this video. You have to make it an impulse. And a lot of people make it where it's like, this sounds like a good video. It's like, no, like, you don't want your video to be where it's like, yeah, I would watch that. Like, if you show your thumbnail and title to someone, they were like, wow, that's a great title and thumbnail. It's not great. But if someone goes, wait, actually, can I watch that real fast? That's how you know it's great. You want it to be an impulse. You want it to be where people click on your video without even realizing they clicked on it. It's just like, I gotta watch that real fast. And the next thing you know, there are 6 videos deep on your YouTube channel. They've watched 6 of your videos and like, how'd I get here? It's because that first title and thumbnail was so good, they had to click. Now, the way you do that is you gotta make people feel something. Like, it's gotta be an emotion. If you make people just go, like, logically, like, huh. Like, the key to a great title and thumbnail is not logical. It's emotional. It's making people go, wow, like, I gotta click on that thing, like making them feel something, whether that feeling is disgust or anger or curiosity or laughter or intrigue because they want to learn that thing, whatever it might be. The thumbnail and title has to be so good. It's like my dad used to tell me growing up. He said, Caleb, be so good they can't ignore you. It's the same thing for title and thumbnail. So what we're going to be talking about inside of this is how to really make your thumbnails and titles so curiosity driven that people have to click on them. So don't worry if like after this video you're not 100% sure how to do that, but I want you guys to understand the psychology behind why people click. They only click on things they have to click on. They absolutely have to, because the majority of people on YouTube don't go to YouTube saying, you know what, I'm gonna like watch hours of content. They go to YouTube just like, let me watch this real quick, and they see something suggested and they watch another thing and watch another thing. And you want to be the rabbit hole that they go down. You wouldn't be that one little layer that they go through because all of your thumbnails and titles are so good. If you have the best titles and thumbnails in your niche, most likely you're going to be the biggest person in your niche. It's how it works. So really be thinking, how can I make my titles and thumbnails? What gets people to click? Curiosity driven. That's the first reason why people click. It's curiosity. The second reason is familiarity, meaning people are familiar with what they see. For example, you know, there's people that don't have great titles and thumbnails, but they're huge celebrities. So people are familiar with them and they have trust with that person. So they'll click on it. Like for example, The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson doesn't have to have that good of thumbnails and titles for people to click on his videos, because people love The Rock. They love him and they click on it. Even someone like Gary Vee, right? A lot of you guys know who Gary Vee is. Gary Vee, I'm just be real. If you're watching this, Gary, I don't care. Like at the end of the day, Gary Vee's titles and thumbnails are not good. He does a terrible job with them. It actually disappoints me how bad his titles and thumbnails are, especially for how he's one of the best people I know for social media, especially when it comes to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. But YouTube, his titles and thumbnails are terrible. They're not curiosity driven. Yes, like he gets a lot of views, but why? It's because of familiarity. People know who Gary Vee is, and it works for him. That's why he has millions of subscribers. So I can't like diss Gary. It's working for him. But like his videos aren't that great from titles and thumbnails, but they're familiar with him because they've seen his face so many times. They know who he is. Like if I see a Gary Vee video, I'm like, you know what? I'll click on it. I like Gary. I'll click on it. I've met him before. He's a cool dude. Let me click on this Gary Vee video. Same thing with like, you know, you see a lot of these really, really big YouTube channels. They don't even need to have crazy great titles and thumbnails anymore because people are so familiar with their channel. So another thing is like, when you're creating titles and thumbnails, and we're going to go deeper on this, don't even worry about it, but trying to figure out what is something that people are familiar with and can I put it there? Like if I'm creating a TikTok video, Charli D'Amelio is really, really big on TikTok. I'll throw Charli D'Amelio in there. Why? Because if someone sees Charli D'Amelio, they immediately think TikTok. They're familiar with it. It doesn't even matter really how great my title or thumbnail is. People are going to click on it because they're familiar with it. But if you can mix both curiosity and familiarity, that is when you really, really win. But familiarity is this really interesting way to go viral, even if like that's why trends work, for example. It's because if someone is familiar with the trend, they're familiar with it, it makes them want to click on it. Like, oh, this is trending. So like it's either curiosity or familiarity, and your goal is to bring them both together. Some of them are just curiosity driven. Some will be both curiosity and familiarity. Familiarity is literally like kind of a bonus hack, but the most important part is curiosity. If you can bring both those together, you will win every single time. And the thing about familiarity is this. I really believe that your audience is already out there. Now you just need to go and collect them, meaning other people have your audiences. If you want millions of followers, well, guess what? Dwayne The Rock Johnson already has millions of followers. All you need to do is create a video that has to do with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and guess what? Those millions of followers are going to become now your followers because they watch your video and they subscribe to your channel. So using familiarity is a great way to go collect audiences. And that's one of the things I used to do is I would create videos, not necessarily like this is a little bit different for me because I would create videos of me talking, me doing my thing, but then I would go comment on other big people in my niche's videos for Facebook, and I go comment on, you know, Grant Cardone's videos, and I go comment stuff, and then people go watch my stuff because they were already on Grant's channel and they would come over. So basically Grant had an audience, and all I needed to do was put my content in front of that audience and people would follow me. That's how it works. So one of the big things we're going to be talking about too is how to catch trends and use people that already have a lot of attention to get to you, like to start directing that attention towards you, if that makes any sense. So guys, that's the psychology behind the viral metric. It's understanding that at the end of the day, the CTR, the only thing that matters is click. I mean, if you have 1,000 people watch your video, and let's say you have out of that, 120 people click on your video. Well, why'd they click on it? It's because 120 people thought the title and thumbnail was interesting enough to want to click. But if you have 160 people, well, what's that mean? What's the difference in the click-through rate? You have a 14% click-through rate and a 16% click-through rate. Well, what's the difference? All it means is that 2% more people found your title and thumbnail enticing. 20 extra people found your title and thumbnail enticing. So it's the exact same thing. It's like when you realize this, it makes like, wow, I can literally increase my click-through rate as much as I want because all I gotta do is make my title and make my thumbnail good. And if my title and thumbnail are masterful, because it's the most important part, if my title and thumbnail are masterful and I follow what the masterclass is teaching me, if I do that, it's guaranteed I go viral. And like that's the thing, people always want to raise their click-through rate and they're trying to figure out these like ninja, like, what do I do mathematically? Is there any setting I could turn on? At the end of the day, the only way to increase your click-through rate is to have a better title and thumbnail than your previous video. And if you have a great title and thumbnail, then people are going to click. And if people click, guys, these are humans. Like this is the thing, behind the math, these are actual people behind these numbers. If you have human beings want to click on your video because they have to, and because it follows the 2 psychological reasons why people click, which is either curiosity or familiarity, then you are on your way to going viral because you are just one video away.